What's up guys, my name is Hexagon, also known as Surbre, and as you can see down here the time is almost 3 a.m. in the morning. And I just wanted to show you something. You may or may not know, but I am working on a game. I'm doing this because I feel there is no survival game that's really about surviving the enemies in the game. It's more about the PvP. And I want to bring that PvE sense, like if you're alone, you're fucked. That's what I want in the game. So I made my idea is to make the enemies pretty much unkillable unless you're at least two people. So killing another person in the game will not benefit you. You might get some weapons, but it won't benefit you. There's a high chance of you dying just a few seconds after that. So the game is gonna be very urban. It's gonna be skyscrapers and that sort of stuff. And I'm modeling the demo version that I'm gonna release once I have fixed everything. There's a lot. Right now I'm creating a bunch of assets. I think I might have a few that I can show you. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some weapons here that I'm working on. So there's stuff in the works, but it takes time. I'm pretty much the only one working on this at the moment. But if you have any experience in Unreal Engine 4 or in 3D modeling, I would appreciate your help greatly. So what I'm gonna show you is the sense of scale that I'm working on here. So we'll just play. This is one of the models that we're gonna be using for the game. Probably fixing that mask there, but this is the scale that we're working on. So this is an actual street where I've taken the scale, measurements and so on. It's not perfect, far from it, but it's something, and you can feel the sense of scale here. This is an 8-story building. It might not be that tall. It might be, shorter. That might be a bit taller. Stuff like that. But I'm working on it. So once I get the apartments done, because basically you're gonna be able to enter every building, everywhere, and go into every room. Some doors might be locked, so you'll have to either lockpick or blow the locks up, or break down the door using different methods, each of which will make a different amount of sound alerting the enemies. And I will show you one of the enemies. Sorry for the sound. This is, hold on, this is the enemy. All you can see is the shadow, thus the name Shadows, or Project Shadows. I have not yet decided. It might be entirely different once it's released, but for this time being, I shall refer to this game as Project Shadows. This is the enemy that you're facing. So let's just get back to Unreal. And as I said, you're not able to kill them. The way the enemy is gonna work is if you shoot it, it uses that energy and becomes stronger. Unless you're using a capture device. This capture device can be used by one person. And while that person is using that on the shadow, you're able to do damage. But if you don't do it fast enough, it draws the energy from the capture device and becomes stronger, and too strong for that specific energy device. If you have 2 energy devices, you're able to capture it for a longer period of time. Basically, one is good for a period of time, and when it passes that, you need another one, and so on and so forth. So if you encounter a very, very powerful shadow, it might be impossible to kill it without maybe 5 or 6 players. That's the idea. Hopefully we'll make that happen. But as I said, you're gonna be able to go into every apartment, into every room, into every drawer, and the idea is that this area was just left here 3 days ago. Something like that. It has not been here for a week, it has not been here for a year. Everything is still working. If they left the stove on, the stove is on. So you might get heat signatures. And there are gonna be 4 or 5 different classes, one of which is gonna be a military class. And this is of course basic models for the demo release, which is gonna be available for everyone. And then they can test and so on. And this is of course gonna be a multiplayer game, but it's gonna have a sense of being a single player game with, well, playing with your buddies pretty much. So this game is gonna have 2 different modes as far as I've decided as of now. An advanced mode, or maybe hardcore mode, and a normal mode. A normal mode, you will start with a weapon. A pistol and a knife. Those are the 2 things you're gonna start with. You'll have a flashlight as well, but I think that's pretty obvious for a survival game. Day and night cycle and that stuff, you need a flashlight. And obviously you cannot see the shadows without a flashlight. So, there's that part too. So in advanced mode, you'll be given nothing pretty much. You'll have a flashlight and that's pretty much it, like any other survival game. But the difference here is that you can craft weapons from pretty much anything. At the end game, I would like to have at least 100 different weapons on each category, and there are 3 categories. There is scavenger, military, and prototype. This might not happen, but it's something that I want. It's on the want list, if you will. And I can actually show you one of these weapons if you would like to see it. And I think maybe you will. Let's just jump off this here and see that we have no fall animation. Sorry, that was the phone. Anyway, this is the scale that we're working on at the moment. As I said, it might not be this tall, it might not look like that. Obviously, it's gonna get textures, models and stuff like that. But let's get out of here, because it's a long way back. That's the annoying part. I don't know if there's a quicker way of getting there, but yeah, takes a while. So that's how you do it. Scroll wheel. Who would have thunk it? Alright, so that's what I'm working on in Unreal Engine. World placement and stuff like that. You can see the object here is called Shadow Game World Placement. That's what basically the houses are gonna stand, where the road is gonna be. This is a street, pretty much, a big street with houses here, and there are gonna be playgrounds on each sort of, I'm not sure what to call it, but you see that building and that building. Between those there's like a courtyard or something, I'm not sure what to call it. But there's going to be a playground and another house for trash and laundry. So it's going to look really authentic. It's going to look, I don't know, realistic, I guess. But let's take a look at some of the models that I've created so far. I am by no means a good 3D model artist. I am far from it. I am not educated. I am self-taught by, well, everything. Only thing I have is a copy of Cinema 4D that I got from school a long time ago, and it's been updated, so I'm happy about that. One of the swords, because there's gonna be a lot of melee weapons as well. Obviously you're gonna be able to create some from maybe metal pipes or whatever, but there's also gonna be prototype weapons, and this is one of the prototype weapons. This is a prototype sword. Let me just render this for you here so you can see what it looks like in all rendered gloriness. And obviously I don't really do any like pre-stuff. Like, this is made in Cinema 4D and that's pretty much it. I did not draw anything beforehand, and I rarely do that. That's why probably I'm not that great. But I have created that weapon, and it has a fair amount of detail in my opinion. You can see each screw here is taking up way too much data, so I'm gonna have to redo that. But you can see there's a lot of detail here. Maybe not by textures, but if I render here, the texture looks better, whatever. You get the point. Let me show you another weapon that I've been working on as well. This is one of the pistols. This is a prototype pistol. I'll show you that one and one more. And this is a very, very early stage pistol. It's gonna be very powerful, and you can see that red one. It's basically a capsule that has energy in it, and it contains the element, I think, 0. I have a full document about everything here. And basically, without telling too much, this big company created a wormhole to get rid of trash and accidentally created a super element called element 0, which has infinite amount of energy. But this wormhole is open because of an entity in another dimension, and these are the shadows that you need to kill and close the holes. Yeah, that's the short story. Anyway, so this has the element 0, which would not deplete, but it overheats. That's why I have this chamber here with heat spreaders and stuff like that. But I think this is a cool design. It might not look like this in the finished version. Hopefully I'll get someone who actually knows how to 3D model, which would be a great help. But this is what it looks like now. So we've seen 2 prototype weapons, and we have a scavenger weapon, which I call Rusty Sniper. And my idea for this was, what parts can you find around that would make sense? Let me get rid of this box here. And my idea was, you can find some pipe, some metal piping laying around. That could be from something, and the stock here could be milled from a piece of wood. And then for the sight, you don't have an actual sight, you have a pair of glasses, which are held tight by nuts on a bolt here. And this is your sight, pretty much. Let me just render that without some stuff here, otherwise it will take forever. Hold on, global illumination, we don't need that, we don't need sharper and filter. Alright, let's go. And we don't need to render the box either. Please, GTFO, man. So it's gonna take a while, I don't know. But everything here is kept to pretty much a minimal, because I gotta keep down the cost of polygons, which is basically you have a maximum amount of polygons per scene, which is very difficult to keep down. I'm not even sure if you can hear me properly, because my CPU is utilizing 100%, or Cinema 4D is utilizing 100% of my CPU, which is, you know, really fun. But there we go. So this is your sight. Obviously it's gonna look better once it's in the engine, but this is the basic gist of it. So these are toothpicks, and that black thing here, and up top there, those are pieces of tape. So yeah. But that's one of the weapons that you're gonna be able to build. You can build it from the start. There are no levels. Every character has different set of abilities. You're not going to be able to level them up. You're going to be able to find a lot of different stuff. And you're going to have test labs. My idea for the main test lab is going to be downwards about 20 floors. And at the bottom it's pretty much impossible unless you're 20 people. That's my idea. Hopefully it will work. It might not, but if I get enough help, it could happen. So yeah, this is all I've got at the moment. I've got some other assets as well. I can show you just what it is. I have assault rifle. I have the high energy capture device, prototype gun, sniper, plasma shotgun. It's a bullpup I'm working on. Crowbar, armored vehicle. I have a closet, desk with drawers, general table. We have one plate, a logo, ceiling lamp, dimmer, dish bench, element, floor lamp, light switch, oven, picture frame, sofa, TV flat, TV old, wall outlet, vase, and we got a glass. So I'm working on it. It takes time to create all these different things, but hopefully by this year I'll have something to show, and hopefully next year you'll be able to play it. If you wanna help in any way, shape or form, either by creating a model or fixing up the ones that I have already created, please let me know. You can comment down below or just send a message to me. Anyway, this has been a weird video, but I would like to thank you if you watched this far with just me talking and nothing else really professional here. Thumbs up. I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.